One of the biggest problem of the world is hypocrisy. There's so much hypocrisy in the world, and and also arrogance. I think it's part of the things that we have that is going on in the world. On one hand, you're ready to support people who get into office by rigging their way into office. On the other hand, you are angry at people who do a coup to get into office. What's the difference? They are all coup. One is a military coup, the other one is a political coup. As long as you're subverting the will of the people, the choices of the people, as long as there is no free, fair, credible election and people emerge, people kill to emerge as winners, to be declared winners. People not that they even emerge to be declared winners. They kill, they maim, they kill, they distort results, they clean up, they change the figures and get themselves into office. How is that not the same thing as rigging? Or because the other ones wore uniform? Or so how is that not the same thing as coup? Because the other ones wore uniform? And Kamala Harris came out and she's saying, she's going to work with Tinubu, blah, 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 blah. The right that US have to work with Tinubu, right? Even in spite of the fact that he rigged his way into office, in spite of the fight, it's a political coup that happened in Nigeria. It's also the right that Russia has to work with Niger now, in spite of the fact that there's a military. If we really are interested in advancing democracy, then one of the things that must be ensured is that there must be free, fair, credible election, a universally accepted one. Not this kind of election where, there are different standards. There are certain standards that happen in certain countries, and then there are certain standards that happen in other countries. No, we can't have that, where people are ready to say, let's, out of stability, let's allow stability, let's move on for the election, go on to governance, even when the people's rights have been denied, when the people's mandate have been denied. So if you continue to do that, you will make coup more interesting to the people. It's harder to tell people that they should not be yearning for military coup when they can see their own votes don't count, their own rights are being denied, their own mandate. It's not who they give their mandate to that gets it. So then what's the difference? Somebody forced himself on them, and so they wouldn't see any reason why they don't see any reason why military can come and force themselves or this. So if we really want democracy to work, if we really want situation, I don't know who is calling that. If we really want democracy to work, if we really want people not to yearn for military can never, for me personally, military can never be an option. Never, ever, ever. But how many people are you going to be telling that? How many people see that? There are a lot of generations that have never known what military rule is all about. Some of us have gone through the worst of the worst military era. And we know what that can mean. That's some who happen. And so they will romanticize it. As long as you're not allowing no dividends of democracy, no good governance, no accountability, no transparency, no human rights, no rule of law, what then is there? What then is there? So if we really want democracy to no longer be hurtling backward, then one of the things that really needs to be done is that free, fair, credible election. Yeah? Free, fair, credible election must be sacrosanct. Thank you.
The US has offered its help to Niger Republic if they return to the constitutional order of democracy, that is, if they reinstate Mohamed Bazoum as their president. This was disclosed by the acting Deputy Secretary of United States, Victoria Nuland, after a meeting with the military junta in Niger. One of the major fears of the US, France, and even the ECOWAS is that the military junta in Niger will switch their allegiance to Russia. Niger happened to be the latest country in West Africa where the army has seized control. This is following Burkina Faso, Guinea, Mali, and Chad, which are all former French colonies. According to reports, since 1990, a striking 78% of the 27 coups in sub-Saharan Africa have occurred in francophone states, that is, countries colonized by France, which is why many people are asking if France is to be blamed. We saw how the military junta in Mali in September 2022 launched a scathing attack on France. Even in Burkina Faso, the military government ended a long-standing accord that allowed French troops to operate in the country in February, giving France 1 month to remove its forces. Currently in Niger, which neighbors both countries, we can see allegations that President Mohamed Bazoum was a puppet for French interests, which was one of the reasons why he was removed from power, and over 5 military deals with France have since been revoked by the military junta. Also, the coup was followed by protests and attacks on the French embassy in Niger. It is also gathered that French colonial rule established political systems designed to extract valuable resources while using repressive strategies to retain control even when these countries have regained independence. They always continue to meddle in the politics and economics of their former territories even after independence, and their leaders are not helping matters because they keep dancing to the tune of their colonizers. It is also gathered that 7 of the 9 francophone states in West Africa still use the French currency. For the ECOWAS, the military junta did not listen to their threats of invasion. We also saw the massive crowd that trooped out to show them their support, and basking on this massive support, they went on to close their airspace. The implication of the closure of this airspace will halt Nigeria's economy in no small way. This is because flights leaving Nigeria to Europe will first of all fly westward before flying northward to continue their journey, and this will mean that Nigerians will have to pay more to fly. Yes, Nigerians will have to pay so much more to fly. So this leaves Algeria as the only option for anyone going to Europe from Nigeria. And imagine what will happen if this problem escalates quickly. What if Mali and Burkina Faso joins Niger in closing down their airspace? Imagine the distance that an airliner will have to fly westward in order to avoid these countries before continuing their journey, and that will definitely double the price of the tickets, and the passengers will bear the pain. And this simply means we sanction ourselves instead of Niger. Yes, the ECOWAS actually helped in sanctioning Nigeria and Nigerians instead of Niger, because this is going to be telling so much more on our economy than on their own. The economic sanctions from ECOWAS to Niger was hasty. Their first approach of sanctions and threats on the military was not the best approach. The military are not happy with what is going on in their country. The best thing to do is to negotiate with them instead of coming to sanction them and threaten them with invasion. We all saw that the threats did not work on them. I believe this will also teach our leaders some lesson, because this is the approach they always use on Nigerians. When people air their grievances or protest, like the case of NLC and striking doctors, they will insist they go back to work with threats of no work, no pay, without listening to what the people really want. And it is very bad, because the government of the day keeps doing the same thing. You keep threatening the people. When the people come out to protest, to air their grievances, you don't allow them to express themselves. You just threaten them. Most times they can even come out with the military, like what we saw during the end SARS protest, and it is not the best at this point in time. So what the military junta did in Niger, I believe it's going to help leaders of African countries, especially our Nigerian leaders, to know that it is not at every point in time that you use force. At some times, and at most times actually, you negotiate with the people to know what they really want. And now, like we see, the leaders are now coming back to say, okay, we're going to negotiate with you, we're going to use diplomacy in settling the matter. And this is supposed to be their first result. That this should have come first, and the whole crisis would have not escalated to this level. So this is what we are saying. They would have first of all used diplomacy, engage these people before you come out to threaten them. So guys, do well to share your view, share your thoughts with us about this video. Do well to like this video, and please subscribe to our channel so you get updates whenever we post a new video.